I am delighted to welcome each and every one of you to this grand opening of the Joan Klein Creative Studio. Yes. Yes, agreed. We are very honored to be joined by Dr. Klein and other family members as we celebrate the legacy of the late Joan Klein with this space where all ages are welcome to learn, create, and explore. At this time, I invite Christina Cornelison, Executive Director of the Madison County Public Library, to speak a little bit more about this space and how we got to where we are.
As many of you know, Joan served on our board for a number of years. She was a board member when I was hired. When I first met Joan, I was just blown away by the amount of energy she had. And not just energy, but energy to serve. And there's a big difference there. Using your time to really devote yourself to improving the community and really investing in kids. That's something that's very near and dear to my heart, as well. One of the things that I love and that Joan loved about the public library is that everyone's welcome. We're here for everyone, we're here to serve everyone, and we're here to make sure that everyone has the same opportunities as everyone else. And what's more beautiful than that? The creative studio, that's a very broad term, and we wanted it to be broad. Initially, when we were looking at this space, we wanted to make a maker lab, which makes sense to many of us, a foreign term to others. A maker lab is generally 3D printers, laser cutters, technology, and things like that. It's a very popular thing in the library world right now. We wanted to go beyond that and really focus on what are important lifelong learning skills, what are life-sustaining skills that people could gain from this space. Fortunately, we were able to apply some of this vision towards a grant that we were awarded from the Steele Reese Foundation. Is anyone from Steele Reese here right now? Okay. The Steele Reese Foundation invests in this part of the United States. They want to make sure that Appalachian people have opportunity. And again, we felt that this was something that met their vision and ours. So we were awarded $35,000 from the Steele Reese Foundation to remodel this space. If you were here before we remodeled this space, you will be wowed when you walk in here. This used to be a basement. You could barely walk in it. If you give librarians space, they're going to fill it, and that's kind of what was happening down here. So we decided that we were going to clean this out, and we were going to use this space for the public good. Many people contributed to making this happen.
I'm pleased to be here and to see so many of you here. Joan would just love to see this completed space, but more importantly, to watch kids and adults working in this creative space to learn new skills and to be motivated to try new things. This happened in part because of the support of individuals who provided contributions first to Kiwanis, about $1,000, and then to the library about $2,000, and this became seed money to initiate the park on 2nd Street, which is called Joni's Playground. If you have not been there, you need to take a look at it. It's filled with kids most of the time unless it's too hot or too cold or too wet, but it's a great place. And I'm sure that Christina used the funds that people gave to the library for support of kids, probably, I'm guessing, as matching grants in order to get the major grant which came through and made this possible. I want you to understand that if she ever thought of applying for a job as a librarian anywhere in the United States, with one possible exception, and she asked me for a letter of recommendation, it would be a terrible letter. I would tell them that she is not very innovative, doesn't come up with new ideas, is not a people person, with one exception. If she ever applies at this place, I'm going to give her a positive recommendation. And she can put that on her desk as she has coffee in the morning. If she wants to apply to become the director of the Library of Congress, I'm going to support her. Thank you very much for coming today. Count it off.
1, 2, 3. There we go.
You know, it's hard to describe Joan in just a few words. She was involved in everything. When I first met her, I was just shocked at the amount of energy that she had. I mean, I strive to have that level of energy, and I'm, a little behind her in years. So, I mean, she was a retired teacher, extremely passionate about educating kids, and not just educating kids inside the classroom. She, of course, invested her time in that, but invested probably more time, outside of the classroom, making sure that kids had enrichment opportunities. And that's something that's near and dear to my heart, especially in the public library setting. We are a place that's open and available to everybody, and that was something that was really important to Joan too, to make sure that everyone, no matter what, had the same access to everything. So Joan was on our board when I came on and beforehand, and served, for a few years before her health, declined, and she passed while she was still on the board. So we wanted to honor her in a way that spoke to things that she was passionate about. And when this opportunity came about, we thought, what a better way, what a better way than to have this space for anyone to come to build skills, enrich skills, have fellowship with each other, learn from each other. I just think that she would really be excited about this.
So about 18 months ago, we applied for a Steele Reese grant, and we were granted $40,000 from the Steele Reese Foundation, and we were able to put that towards creating a creative studio here in the Berea Library. So we put a lot of effort and thought into what we thought would be important creative materials for Berea. We already have a makerspace in our Richmond location, so this was a kind of not quite a duplication, but another endeavor along the same lines. So they're about 70% the same, but we also included some extra things that were more of a focus of Berea, such as the sound studio and embroidery and sewing equipment. We have a number of items available here in our creative studio. We have our electronics center, our sound studio, embroidery and sewing, large format printer, 3D printers, and laser cutter. Those are out all the time. We also have art supplies and a small form vacuum machine, and various other tools and equipment that you might be able to utilize. The goal for us here was that we wanted to make that garage, that perfect garage workshop, the best one in the neighborhood, and we wanted to make that for everyone to use. Right now it is open from 4 o'clock to close, Tuesday through Friday. We hope to expand on those hours as time goes on. First thing you need to do to use this space is be a library member, so get yourself a library card and then come on down and join us in one of our basics classes where we teach you how to use the equipment, and then you're on your way to using it on your own. We have used our maker spaces here to create some of the things that you'll see in the library, such as the live signage upstairs next to the community space that was made entirely in our creative studio as well.